Hello guys, welcome back to another Fly Food Fun video. It's MJ Salaga, and today in this episode I'll be answering questions in our comment section sa channel natin. Questions specific to our Armenia and UAE trip. So this video has been requested and I'll be speaking English and Tagalog from time to time because most of the questions were coming from our Tagalog friends. I'll do my best na hindi magbibisaya right now. Let's go ahead and start the video. Alright, so first question. Ano? Here's our first question. Ano po mga questions pag tourist bound to Armenia? Alright, so I'll be just sharing, of course, from my personal experience during our trip to Armenia. For those who haven't watched the video, before we went to Armenia, so nag-via Dubai kami. So that was a trip from Manila to Dubai, and then from Dubai we went to Sharjah. Sharjah is another state ba yan? Or kingdom sa UAE. From Sharjah, that's our flight going to UAE. To be honest, during our immigration interview sa Manila, we did not disclose na we will be going to Armenia, of course, just to avoid any confusion and also to avoid yung further investigation. So we were just so focused in answering specific to our trip to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So that's a specific trip to UAE. Questions that were asked, of course, it's very important. You have reasons to be back and hindi mag-TNT dun sa Dubai para hindi ka ma-offload. When na-book yung ticket, who booked the ticket, for how long kami magsistay sa Dubai, saang accommodation kami magsistay, sino yung sponsor namin sa UAE, kaano-ano namin yung sponsor sa UAE, sinong kasama ko sa UAE, when kami babalik sa UAE, and if may work ako dito sa Philippines. I prepared my bank statement, just be prepared in case i-ask nila if meron ba akong magkano yung dala kong money as an allowance during the trip. Also, tinatanong nila if I have my certificate of employment, if I have job here. And also, they asked for my ID sa current company ko. So that's it. Actually, yung question that was asked to me 3 times. So just to make sure siguro kung I can answer it accurately and consistently. So that was asked to me 3 times. Try to answer direct. Do not panic. Stay calm. And make sure nga you have your answers prepared na sa mind mo and your papers also ready. So yun lang naman yung questions. Again, it's not a question specific to Armenia kasi we avoid disclosing that sa immigration. And of course, hindi namin sinabi na mag-Armenia kami. Kasi yung ticket din namin, it's a round-trip ticket going to UAE. And then we bought another round-trip ticket from Sharjah. The Sharjah that's in UAE still. Sharjah going to Armenia and back. Okay, so that's one question down. Let's proceed to the next question. Sir, tanong ko lang po, nag-travel kayo papuntang Armenia, nagpa-PCR test pa po ba kayo? Okay, so it's not part of the video na disclose ko during our vlog na it was onset of the pandemic. So basically, that's before the lockdown and before nag-spread yung COVID throughout the globe. So yeah, that took place February 2020. So we already heard the news about COVID-19, but that was still contained in China. So that time, February 2020, there's no PCR test required yet. But of course, right now, there will be requirements specific to going to Armenia or UAE. So I highly advise to visit reliable sources or website to make sure that you follow the requirements before traveling. Kasi ang hirap na din pag you assume na hindi, di ba? So right now, since we're still in a pandemic, expect na there will be list of requirements before you can visit the country. So yeah, go ahead and visit the links sa description box if you are interested to know if my PCR test or ano pa bang ibang requirements na nire-require ng Armenian Government. So yun. Third question. Hi sir, pwede po ba visa on arrival kahit po wala E-VISA online? Thanks. Okay, so when we visited Armenia, E-VISA lang yung required. E-VISA can be applied online. Pwede ding a visa on arrival. So what we did, we want to make sure kasi it's our first travel to Armenia and we're trying to avoid any inconveniences. Okay, so we applied for E-VISA online like a day or 2 days before the trip pa yan, or a day, may requirement yan eh. The visa was sent to our email address. But we also realized upon arriving sa airport there in Armenia that you can definitely apply for a visa on arrival. That's it. Next question. Tour agency po sa Dubai na kinuhanan nyo po ng visa. Can you refer me po? Okay, so when we went to UAE or Dubai, yes, we did ask assistance from a tour agency. So yeah, so that's the Desert Journey Travel and Tourism LLC. They have a Facebook page. I'll be putting the link in our description box. Another question. Ask ko lang kuya, pupunta din kasi ako dyan sa Armenia. Ano yung mga tanong sa'yo sa PH or Philippine Immigration? Thanks. Okay, so this is similar to the first question. And then there's a follow-up question from Daisy. Yung mga papers po ba, ano po ang mga hinahanap nila? And then Manila to Dubai din siya. Then Dubai to Yerevan. That's a city or capital sa Armenia. So yeah, papers that were asked, of course, that we need to prepare. Of course, my certificate of employment sa current company ko. I think that's very important kasi of course, they will always assume na mag-TTNT talaga kayo sa Dubai or UAE. So it's very important that you have certificate of employment. Bring your ID. Share ko lang. Kasi what happened when I went to UAE, I had certificate of employment. But I only have a photocopy of my ID. Now what happened is that the immigration officer was really strict, so inassume niya na I was just lying and creating, like making up IDs and certificate of employment. So I was already nervous that time because I might not make it to the plane. So yeah, sobrang kinabahan ko that I was shaking na. But then I insisted that you may contact our HR or our boss sa company to validate. Ang daming scenarios na ini-insist na immigration officer na I'm making up all this content as he continues to interrogate me or ask me questions. He then realized I'll be traveling with my auntie, and then we are just there for travel purposes and no intention of overstaying. So just make sure that you're prepared, all your papers are prepared. I also prepared my bank statement just in case they will ask. And of course, I have my birth certificate, ID, several IDs, yun lang naman. Of course, yung visa going to Dubai, plane ticket, of course, hotel accommodation din. For our hotel accommodation, it's only like 1 night sa Dubai kasi it was sponsored. We have a sponsor, yung family friend namin sa Abu Dhabi. So we told the immigration officer we'll be staying sa unit niya, and then she has like the address of her unit that's under her name. So the plane ticket should be round trip. Your accommodation sa UAE, and if ever you have sponsor, yung address, name, and ID din ng sponsor. So yun. Alright, so now let's proceed to another question. Kuya, may ice na rin. Super lamig na. Okay, so we went there on winter season. Want to experience winter, like winter with snow sa Armenia. So yeah, we went there month of February. It's a really good winter weather. I believe winter starts there from November, month of November until February, or even in March. But yeah, when we were there, it was month of February, and definitely it's a really good winter experience. The weather was not that rough. There was one time, our first day, we got sunshine, so it was winter but there's sunshine, so it's good. And the second day, we also experienced like it's literally snowing. February is definitely a good weather if you are wanting to experience winter in Armenia. Next question. Okay, good day. I'm planning to visit Armenia. E-VISA ba need para sa Filipinos? Yes. Going to Armenia, it's still E-VISA lang din ang need for Filipinos. If you're a Filipino citizen and Philippine passport holder, still E-VISA. Another follow-up question. Nagkuha po mo transit visa sa UAE? Kaya naapod may layover, or meron din kaming layover pa Dubai. What we had was not a transit visa sa UAE, it's a single entry to UAE. And then, well, siguro naka-curious kayo, follow-up question dyan sa information na yan is that since single entry lang sa UAE yung kinuha namin, how did we get another visa from Armenia to UAE? So what we did, it was a little bit tricky, but it was the most economical option that we had at the moment. So yung kinuha namin is a single entry visa for UAE, that's from Manila to Philippines. Then we exited UAE at Sharjah. So of course hindi na yung effective na visa kasi nag-exit na kami sa Sharjah. Then upon exit, yung same day nag-exit kami sa UAE, nag-apply ulit kami ng single entry visa going back to UAE. So it usually takes 3 to 4 days to get it approved. So that is perfect time because we were in UAE like 4 days. I think it's 4 days. 3 days or 4? Yes, 4 days. So it's a perfect timing for our flight to be back to UAE. So once during our 4th day when we were in Armenia, our second single entry visa to UAE was approved. So that's how we get back to UAE from Armenia. I'm not so sure with a transit visa sa UAE, but I would suggest you look further on that. But if you prefer to have like a less hassle or hassle-free visa, of course you can apply for multiple entry visas sa UAE, but it'll be more expensive. But again, it will be less hassle. Of course, no hassle or less hassle at all. If you have the money, it will give you the peace of mind. Okay, let's proceed to another question. Okay, hi, is there snow there? Is this a recent video as I'm planning to travel to Armenia, but someone told me that there is no snow yet. Okay, so this is a comment 2 months ago, so most likely I think November. Yeah. Siguro because it varies when it starts to snow, but usually early on winter time, it snows first sa mga mountainous areas, but sa city, sa Yerevan, probably not. If you really want to experience snow, even sa city, I would suggest you visit siguro January. So yung stay namin in February, there's still snow. So yeah, siguro you wanna visit December or January in that case. Next question. Pa-share naman yung expenses nyo sa mga tours nyo. Thank you. Okay, so this is specific to our tours in Armenia. Yeah, I still have their like brochure. So yeah, so we did tour Armenia. We chose the private tour package 1. So sa package 1, you get to visit Garni Temple, the Gegard Monastery, Sevan Lake, as well as the Sivanavang Monastery, that's in similar locations as Sevan Lake, and the Chacador, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's Chacador Ski Resort. So yeah, this is way back then, 30,000 Armenian dram or 230 dirham. So let's try to convert that into peso. So if you wanna visit their Facebook page, they are Mabuhay Armenia Tours. Again, Mabuhay Armenia Tours. I'll be providing the link in the description box. Yeah, I sent them a message recently, an email. I haven't got a reply from them yet, but in case na mag-reply na sila, I'll make sure to give an update sa social media and dun sa description box. Let's try to convert that into peso. So this is, it's very sulit. I must say it's very sulit because it's a trip throughout the day and it's really nice. I mean, these places is really nice. We enjoyed it so much, and for those who haven't watched the video, you can go ahead and watch our vlog. That's our day 2 in Armenia. That's equivalent to only 3,208. It's a private tour package. It's really nice. It's really worth it. For those who watched the video, siguro you'll see how happy we were during that tour on that day. It's very good, especially it's winter, first timers, so first winter experience. So of course we enjoyed it so much. So that's it. Next question. Hi po, magkano po yung nabayad niyo po sa tour? Salamat. Well, the same question. again, yun lang yung nabayaran namin sa tour on that day. The first day kasi, we just had a tour within the city. The Cascade, the square is just walking distance from our hostel, so we didn't pay anything for that tour, so we just walked. We enjoyed the whole day walking. Okay, next question, and this is the last question. It's a similar question. Hi po, exactly what month po kayo nagpunta ng Armenia? May snow? Yeah, again, that's February, month of February. There's snow on the month of February. If you want to make sure that you can really experience snow, you can go there by January. But February, during our visit there, it was a really good winter weather. And siguro some questions that were not asked to me specific to our trip is that where we stayed. So we stayed in a hostel that's in Yerevan City. It's downtown. It's very good location if you want to just have you know, a stroll within the city if it's your first time. It's also very good location to visit Cascade, grocery store, restaurants. So I did a room tour sa hostel namin. The link is in the description box if you wanna see the hostel. So it's a hostel. It's shared, good for 8 people because it has like 4 bunk beds. But we're lucky that during that time, it's only me and Auntie who are staying inside the hostel. So we get to enjoy the whole room. I'll be also including in the description box below like the details of the pricing, where you can visit them, and which website. So those are all the questions we have sa atong comment section, and I hope this video helps you guys to know more about our trip and how to go to Armenia and how is it possible to go to Armenia via Dubai for Filipinos. And yes, that's all for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give this a thumbs up. Feel free to comment below if you have any other questions that you want to know about our trip. I'd be more than willing to share more about it because I'm always excited sharing about travel. And feel free to visit my social media accounts as well, our FB page, our Instagram. So go ahead, and I thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more content or videos like this, and I'll see you on the next one. So this episode is a question and answer. In this episode, I'll be answering questions sa YouTube channel natin.